how to knit a 4-stitch cable. And on this particular swatch, the first set of cables is left leaning because the stitches are held to the front, and the second set is right leaning because the stitches are held to the back. So for each one of these cables, so just if you were going to make one cable like this, you would need 4 stitches for the cable and 4 stitches for this reverse stockinette part around it. So for this particular swatch, I have 8 stitches for each cable, so 16 stitches plus 4 for the last side. So I have 20 stitches altogether. And I am up to the 5th row in the pattern, which is our cable row. So for this particular row, you're going to start with 4 purls. Cable needle or cable stitches are typically worked over a reversed stockinette background. Not always, but most of the time. And that just helps the cable to pop a little bit more. So now we're up to the cable, and for this particular cable, we're going to slip 2 stitches onto the cable needle, which we're going to hold at the front, and then we're going to knit 2 stitches off the standard needle, and then we'll knit our 2 stitches off the cable needle. So first we're going to slip our first 2 stitches onto the cable needle. 1, 2, and we're going to hold this at the front. Now you'll see that I am putting the stitches in this kind of dip on my particular cable needle. Every cable needle has something that's meant to hold stitches in place. You'll want to use that to make sure that the stitches don't slip off while you're knitting. And then when it says hold it front, it literally means just that. You're going to leave this cable needle at the front. Now when I pick up my standard needles, there'll be a gap, right, between these stitches. So you'll want to make sure that you pull the working yarn a little tighter than usual because otherwise it might be quite far away from the needle and your next stitch will be very large. So I'm pulling that a little closer, and then I'm going to knit 2, 1, 2 off my standard needle, okay? And now I'm going to bring this yarn to the front, but still behind the cable needle. And I'm going to slide the cable needle up a little because I'm going to actually knit from this cable needle now, just like it's a standard needle. So I'm making sure that I have the yarn back here. You don't want to have it stuck behind this needle by accident. And then I'm going to knit 2 off the cable needle. 1, 2, okay? And you can see that the cable has started to form here, right? It's going to be just like these previous cables that we've done. Now in between the cables here, there's going to be 4 purl stitches again, so I'm going to do that. And then the next cable that I'm going to show you is what it would look like if you hold it to the back, okay? So I'm going to bring my yarn to the back like I always do before I knit. I'm going to, this is also a 4-stitch cable, so it's going to be the same idea where I'm slipping 2, but this time I'm going to hold the cable needle to the back, and then I'm going to knit 2 off the standard needle and then knit 2 off the cable needle. So I'm going to slip these 2, 1, 2 onto the cable needle. I'm going to put them again at that sort of dip on my needle so they don't slip. And then I'm going to put this behind, but it's got to be behind everything, okay? So I'm going to move my working needle to the front. I'm going to move my yarn so that it's actually behind this needle that I'm using, but in front of this needle that's on the back, right? Because I don't want it, again, I don't want it to be wrapped around the cable needle. I want the yarn to be just dealing with these 2 needles right now. Then I'm going to knit 2, 1, 2 from my standard needles. And then I'm going to bring the yarn behind my cable needle again. You might want to slide down your working stitches a little so you don't have to worry about them while you do this. And then you're going to slide these 2 stitches up, and then I'm going to knit 2 from the cable needle. 1, 2. Now you can see that while you're doing this, it's a little bit awkward because for a short period of time you're dealing with 3 needles. So when you choose your cable needle, choose one that you feel comfortable maneuvering around. And so now I'm going to bring the yarn back to the front. I'm going to finish off with my 4 purl stitches to end the row. And so this is basically the cable row. And so the stitch pattern that I've included for this, you're going to work the cable on the 5th row of a 6-row repeat. And so every 6 rows you're creating another cable. Now see that these are kind of close together. If we wanted them to be more elongated, we could do every 8 rows, every 10 rows, every 12 rows.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure to follow, like, and subscribe on whatever platform you're watching this video on. Have a great day.